Before we dive in, ask yourself this. What if everything you admired online was a lie? Today, we're not just telling a story. We're peeling back the layers of illusion, status, and silent ambition. This is the true journey of how one man went from Lagos street corners to living like royalty in Dubai, and how it all came crashing down. Welcome to JL Real Life Stories, where we expose the truth behind the headlines and tell the stories others only whisper about. If you love deep dives into real people, raw choices, and the high cost of deception, you're in the right place. It starts with a flash. A diamond-studded wristwatch gleams in the Dubai sun. The camera pans across the gold-rimmed sunglasses, the crisp designer shirt, and the perfectly lined beard of a man stepping out of a Rolls-Royce. His phone is already out. He knows the pose, the lighting, the angle. He smiles slightly, not for joy, but for effect. He uploads the photo with a caption, "Work hard, pray harder." Millions of followers double tap, but only a few ever ask, who is this man really? He called himself Hushpuppy, a name that would come to define a new kind of fame. Internet-born, luxury-fueled, mystery-wrapped. To his fans, he was a success story, proof that someone from nothing could rise to everything. He dressed in Gucci and Versace like second skin, stood shoulder to shoulder with celebrities, and traveled the world in private jets. Always smiling, always shining. Yet for all the flash, there was something strangely silent about him. No interviews. No businesses publicly linked to him. No explanation for how he could afford the lifestyle he so proudly flaunted. Still, nobody seemed to care. Social media had already declared him a young billionaire. Every post he made, whether holding shopping bags or standing next to exotic cars, fed the myth. And myths, when polished well enough, become truths people choose to believe. His following grew like wildfire. Not just in Nigeria, but across the globe. Young men saw him as a symbol of making it. An influencer without a brand, yet more influential than most CEOs. A ghost in the real world, but a god online. For years, he maintained the illusion. A new city, a new penthouse, a new pose. Always on the move, always immaculate. Luxury wasn't just what he wore, it was what he breathed. But behind every filtered photo was a man playing a dangerous game. One that demanded perfection. One misstep, and the empire built on image would begin to crack. Still, none of that was visible in the beginning. What the world saw was curated glory. They saw the man who beat the odds. The man who turned Wi-Fi into wealth. The man who, somehow, had it all. They didn't see the sleepless nights behind a screen. The encrypted messages. The growing suspicion. The digital footprints he tried to cover. Not yet. For now, Hushpuppy stood untouchable, wrapped in a life most could only dream of. A life lived in the spotlight, even as the shadows grew darker behind the scenes. And so, the story begins. Not with his crimes, not with his fall, but with a single flash of a camera, and a man who turned deception into desire. Before the gold watches, before the yachts and Lamborghinis, there was a dusty street in Lagos. Not the Lagos of billboards and high-rises, but the other side, the Lagos of power outages, crowded buses, and boys with big dreams and little to lose. It was here, among the cracked pavements and chaotic markets, that Ramon Abbas was born. His world was one of noise, shouting traders, honking danfos, radios blaring Afrobeats from tin-roof kiosks. Yet, in the middle of the chaos, Ramon learned how to survive. Not through strength, but through sharpness. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the loudest. But he was always watching. Some say he worked at a second-hand clothes shop. Others recall him hanging around cyber cafes, soaking up whatever internet time he could afford. He wasn't rich, not even close, but he was hungry. And in Lagos, hunger breeds hustle. This city doesn't hand out miracles. It hands out trials. Rent must be paid. Phones must be recharged. Dreams? They're a luxury. But somehow, Ramon kept dreaming. Watching rappers on YouTube. Following fashion icons on Instagram. Studying not just their style, but the attention they commanded. While others chased certificates, Ramon chased perception. He began curating himself long before anyone knew his name. A clean cut, a polished look. He'd take photos in borrowed clothes, edit the background, and make it look like he was somewhere else, somewhere better. The image came first. The money? He'd figure that out later. In the streets of Lagos, he was just another face in the crowd. But online, he could be anyone. That's where the spark began. Still, life didn't change overnight. He moved quietly. He knew the value of silence in a noisy world. No flashy moves yet, just quiet positioning, building contacts, testing limits, learning the game. There are whispers that his early days involved online hustles, Yahoo Yahoo, as it's called in Nigeria. Scams, fraud, digital trickery. The kind of hustle born from desperation, masked as ambition. Whether he started there or somewhere else, one thing is clear: Ramon was evolving. The city that tried to bury him was also shaping him. Lagos sharpened his instincts, taught him how to read people, how to project power even when you had none. It taught him the performance of success. And once he learned that success didn't need to be real to be respected, just believable, he never looked back. One day, he vanished from Lagos. No fanfare, no goodbye, just a quiet exit. When he returned online, he wasn't Ramon anymore. He was Hushpuppy. When he touched down in Malaysia, no one knew who he was. No one asked where he came from, and he never volunteered the truth. For Ramon Abbas, this was a gift, a clean slate. No Lagos past, no limitations. Just new clothes, a new city, and a new name. Hushpuppy. It wasn't just a nickname. It was a mask. And he wore it well. Hushpuppy didn't just rise, he flew too close to the digital sun and got burned. And this is only the beginning. If this episode gripped you, hit like, tap subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss part 2, because things are about to get even darker. Drop a comment below. Was Hushpuppy a hustler or just another product of a world obsessed with image? And don't forget to share this story. Someone on your timeline needs to hear it. This is JL Real Life Storyers, where truth hits harder than fiction.